Welcome to Stories from the Roof, the podcast that brings you tales from the most unexpected vantage point, rooftops. I'm your host, Megan Ellsworth, and on this show, we'll ascend to the top and explore the world through the eyes of those who live and work above. Join us on this unique journey as we uncover the stories, perspectives, and histories of roofing contractors. Let's begin our ascent onto the roof. Hello, everyone. My name is Megan Ellsworth here at rooferscoffeeshop.com, and you are listening to Stories from the Roof, a podcast where we share the stories of roofing professionals and roofing contractors across the country. Today, I'm with Paige Harvill. Hi, Paige. How are you?
I'm good, Megan. How are you today?
I am great. I'm so excited to learn more about you and hear your story from the roof. So let's dive in and I'll have you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about you.
Paige Harvill. I work for Nations Roof. I'm the corporate projects manager. Work here in the corporate office in Mobile, Alabama. I've been in the industry, I think I wrote down it was 28 years. So,
wow.
Yeah, it's been a little minute since I first started. So, but I love it. Absolutely love it.
That's awesome. Wow. Congratulations. 28 years, almost 3 decades. That's crazy.
I'm not supposed to be that old.
Yeah. How did that happen?
I don't know.
It goes by so fast. It's crazy.
I know. I have a high school grad. I already had my children already graduated. She's going to be a senior at Alabama this year. Wow. And then I just had one graduate from high school. And it's just like, I just feel like I was just there. Like it's just quite, it's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Time is
fast. It is crazy. Time is an illusion. Yes. Sometimes it feels like. So how did you get into roofing? Go back to day one.
So, my father, was in the roofing industry when he was in, college. He paid his way through college, and he had a little stint where he had to come home and, make some money to go to college, and he got up on the roof and started shingling, and it kind of went from there. And he worked for GAF once he graduated from college. They were in North Carolina, which was where I was born, and then they came back to Mobile and started his own roofing company then. And so I've always been around it in my blood and everything. But after I graduated from college, kind of took a job, first job that I had. And I went with he and my mother out to San Diego which was back then the NRCA convention, which is now the IRE. And I was in awe. I was like, this is so much more than just this, small company in Mobile, Alabama. So from there, it was in 96. And so I quit my job and started working for him shortly thereafter. I took the summer off and worked at the beach for the summer, made a bunch of money.
Good for you.
And then I went to work for him. So in that working for him, he didn't let me come straight into the office. He sent me out to work for 3 other individuals in the industry that he knew through the association. So my first stint was in Boulder, Colorado with Conrad Kowalik with B&M Roofing, and I lived with them and learned all kinds of things there. Then my first place was, Chuck Bechtel with Harold J. Becker and Company in Dayton, Ohio. Was there for a month, and then Colorado was my second stint, and my third and last was with Bennett Hutchinson with Tip Top Roofing in Atlanta, Georgia. So,
wow,
yeah. So it was great to be not the boss's daughter. That was his big concern about me being the boss's daughter and just coming in and I think I was going to have. And it was never a cushy job. It was never any special treatment whatsoever.
Yeah.
Pretty much the other way around. Like if anything, I was held to a different standard,
Yep.
So.
Yeah. Yeah. I can definitely relate to that. I'm in Denver and Boulder's beautiful. So,
yeah, it was
gorgeous.
My first time to ski. They took me to ski in Vail. And yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I just think that's such a unique experience, getting to go and kind of tutor under these other companies in very different regions too. Yes. Experiencing different, roof styles and damages and repairs and all that stuff. That's like brilliant. That your dad did
it was.
That's awesome.
And there's some people actually, Sherry Miles Foley, she did the same. Her dad did the same thing with her, but I can't remember where she was. I think she went with Kruger, Melvin Kruger at the time in Athens, Georgia.
Okay.
I think that was kind of like their first idea, if I'm not mistaken. So Dad kind of followed that suit. But in Ohio, the girl that they put me with, she was in the service, and I was so grateful and thankful that it was a woman, because I'm like, I was 23 years old, and she would tell the story. She's like, I just figured you were going to come with these long painted nails, and you're just going to be so prissy, and and I just got down and did the work. Like, I kept my head down, and she just told me what to do, and she's like, all right, you're gonna make it okay. You're gonna be okay.
I love that.
Yeah, she was great.
That's great.
She was really great.
Oh, it's so nice also just to have like a fellow female mentor you. That's especially when you're younger, coming into the new industry. That's I always appreciate that.
Yeah, and once I got back home, my dad actually had a woman that had started off at the front office and had moved on to being the head of the service manager. She was head of the service department.
Oh, wow.
And so I got underneath her, and she kind of broken some of the barriers as far as women in the industry in my area. They were used to seeing a woman's face, so that was helpful too. She was great as well.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. A trailblazer for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. So who would you say is someone that really sticks out to you that taught you about roofing?
It's going to be my dad and my uncle. They worked side by side together. Dad was, the construction and operations, and Bruce was the legal aspect. So, the contracts I would take to him, and he would read over the contracts and then make me sit down and read over with him and, watch things to look for. So it was two totally different dynamics as far as, not just being in the field, but also what goes on in the office and how to make sure that you don't get yourself in a pickle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's important to do, to know how to do.
Absolutely. Got to have the yin and the yang, it was, they worked well together.
Yeah. Oh, that's so fun too. Like, especially in a family business when you gel and there isn't,
we had our moments. Don't get me wrong. We had some, we had some moments, but in general, they were all positive.
Yeah. Always a learning experience.
Yes.
What are some of those, valuable lessons, learning experiences that stick out to you in your career that you still think about?
It's funny. The one thing that, I know my dad's going to be named it a lot in this, but he was very inspirational and taught me a ton. But I had gone to look at a roof, and I put the ladder up and, did my measurements, and I came back down and went back to the office, and he's like, well, where's the test cut? And I was like, I didn't get it. And he's like, we're not going to guess, so it was, probably some more choice words because of the site was like 45 minutes away. So I had to drive back out and do everything. So getting a test cut, knowing what's there before, you got to know what's there, So that was a big lesson. So it was something I pushed from then on from anybody else that did any inspections for me. I was like, bring me a test cut, let me know what's there, take the pictures, measurements and everything. So that was not a big thing, but it just kind of stayed with me, for forever.
Yeah. One of those learning experiences.
It can make or break a job for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, yeah, man. So this question's kind of interesting because everyone answers it so differently, but what would you do differently, if anything, if you could go back to the beginning of your career?
I would probably want to spend more time in the field, honestly.
Love that.
That's the lessons that I learned from the guys in the field, and gaining their respect, especially coming back, because while I did it away, once I got home, I was in the office. And so there was a little bit of a struggle there, because I was the boss's daughter and I had not been in the field with them. And so I kind of had to coerce my dad, like, I need to get up there with them. I need to show them that,
Yeah.
I've got some sweat equity in it, So that was, I wish I could spend more time in the field, honestly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's such valuable advice too for people coming in and starting their career today.
Well, and knowing the people that aren't in the field, that there's a way up. You don't have to always be in the field. You can, the sky's the limit.
Yeah. Yeah. If you want, that can just be your starting point.
Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly. So what would you say is the best thing you've ever done for your business or career?
Best thing I've ever done for my business or career.
This one's a tough one.
That is a tough one. That really is. We were, our original company was Kiker Corporation, and we were acquired by Nations Roof. And I would probably say that was the best thing that happened for us. At the time, my dad had stepped out and my uncle was ready to retire, and I wasn't financially able to take over the business at that time. And so, it was a blessing in disguise, and it's been great ever since. So that'd probably be the best. Yeah,
that's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a great one. Okay, so this one's probably going to be tough for you, or maybe not. Maybe it's going to be super easy. But who's the best boss you've ever had, and what did they teach you?
You can't ask me that question.
I know.
Yeah, it would have to be my father. He was, like I said, there was no preferential treatment just because I was his daughter, and it was, I had to learn it all, and he wanted me to learn every aspect of it. And after I bid a job, we'd come back in and we go over the job, we go over the estimate. And there was a time that I was low on this one job, and I was sweating. Like I knew I'd left something out. Like I knew I did. So when I get into the office, he's like, I need you to come in here. And I was like, nope, I can't. And I went straight to my computer and, pulled out my estimate, and I was like, oh, there it is. Like, there it is, like looking at me, And so, we figured it out. Luckily it all came out. That job came out okay. But, yeah, he was the most, influential for sure.
Oh, that's so sweet. Oh, I love it. Okay, so in a word or a small sentence, I'll take a few words. Describe the most important trait in an employee or a coworker.
Just honesty. That's probably the key thing, whether it be, your guys in the field just coming back and being honest. And in the office, it's just, that's the one word that sticks out. That goes across the board, I guess, for anybody and everybody.
Yeah. Yeah. It's the kind of the golden rule.
Yeah.
One of the top 3.
Yeah.
What makes you smile when you think about your job?
The way that our industry gives back to the community. I love doing philanthropy. We here this office, we do Toys for Tots, and we collect, the toys during the Christmas time for the kids. They got the Ronald McDonald houses that the NRCA does. We're happy to be a part of all that, and just it's kind of also making a difference in other people's lives of that are starting out in the field and realizing how they can make some great money and provide for their families. That's truly a good blessing as well.
Yeah. I love that about this industry, how much we give back, and all the associations always have some sort of cause they're working on constantly. And everyone's just so involved in their local, regional, and national communities, in the industry as a whole. I think it's so great. So yeah, I would totally agree with that. Do you have any tips for new people starting in roofing, or maybe, someone's listening to this and they're looking for a job and they're realizing maybe roofing is for them, do you have any advice?
It's not as dirty as it used to be.
That's true.
I mean, it is really true. I think about the first time I did a tear off, it was a pitch tear off, and it was live, and it was with fiberglass insulation, and it was just disgusting. It was so messy. It's just a cleaner, and it's prettier. It's just all the negative connotations that used to go with roofing just aren't there. Just give it a chance, put your nose down, keep working at it. It'll all shake out how it's supposed to, but it's a great industry.
Absolutely. Agreed. Man, fiberglass insulation, brutal. Brutal.
It was awful. All the guys told me, they were like, do not go home and take a cold shower. And that's all you want to do, right? Because you get the pitch and the fiberglass, and they're like, just don't do it. You're going to take a hot shower to open your pores and get it all out. And so that's what I did.
Yeah.
It was awful.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Oh, oof. So how long have you been following Roofer's Coffee Shop, and what's one of your favorite things about RCS?
I'm new to the coffee shop, if I'm being honest.
Love that.
But it is great. I love hearing the stories of everybody. That's really fun to me. It's really interesting, and just hear everybody's different steps that they took to get into the industry. It's really neat.
Thank you for saying that. I'm so glad, because I completely agree. And it's so funny how everyone's paths are so different and winding, but you know how they say, like, once you're in, you're in.
Yeah, you can't,
the roofing
get
industry.
Out.
You cannot leave. You're stuck.
Exactly.
But in a great way.
Yeah.
Well, Paige, thank you so much for sharing your story and coming onto the podcast with me.
Well, thank you for having me, Megan. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. For everyone out there listening, you can find more stories like Paige's all over Roofer's Coffee Shop, as well as, other episodes of Stories from the Roof. Make sure you're subscribed and ring the bell so you get notifications every time we post a new episode. This has been Stories from the Roof, and we'll see you next time. This has been Stories from the Roof, and we'll see you next time. If you've enjoyed these unique rooftop stories, be sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss a single episode. Go to rooferscoffeeshop.com to learn more. Thanks for soaring with us on Stories from the Roof. We'll catch you on the next one.